It was just a small crosswalk. Not a busy intersection with traffic lights and loud noises. Just a simple painted path from one side of the street to the other, near the elementary school. But for the children, it was a giant, dangerous river they had to cross twice a day. And for the old man with the gentle eyes and the bright orange vest, it was his post. His name was Arthur, and he had been the crossing guard here for as long as anyone could remember. Some of the parents, now rushing their own kids to school, remembered him guiding them across the very same street when they were small. His hair was white now, and his hands, when he held up the big stop sign, shook just a little. But his smile was the same. It was a quiet, patient smile that seemed to say, "Take your time. The world can wait." Every morning, just as the sun began to warm the pavement, Arthur would take his place. He would watch the cars slow down and stop. He would watch the mothers with strollers, the dads on bicycles, and the children, each one a universe of dreams, approaching his crosswalk. There was Mia, a tiny girl with bright red boots. She always walked with her head down, looking at her feet. Her mornings were quiet. Arthur learned that her parents had separated, and she spent her days going between two homes. When she reached the crosswalk, Arthur would always kneel down to her level. He wouldn't ask questions. He would just say, "Good morning, Mia. I see your red boots are ready for an adventure today." Sometimes she would look up and give him a small, shy smile. And for a moment, the weight she carried on her small shoulders seemed to lift. Then came Leo. Leo was a fast walker, full of energy. His backpack was always half open, his jacket untied. He would run towards the crosswalk, his mind already in the playground, on the soccer field. Arthur would hold out his hand, a gentle signal to pause. "Slow down, Leo," he would say calmly. "The street isn't going anywhere. Tell me, what are you going to learn today?" Leo would stop, bounce on his heels, and shout, "We have a math test. And I'm going to beat it." Arthur would nod seriously, as if this was the most important news of the day. "I believe you will," he would say, and then he would guide him safely across. The children started to see Arthur not just as a crossing guard, but as a keeper of their secrets. One afternoon, a girl named Chloe stopped in the middle of the crosswalk. Her eyes were wet with tears. Arthur gently stepped beside her, stopping the cars with his sign. "What's wrong, Chloe?" he asked softly. She held up a drawing. It was a picture of a house, with a big sun and a small family holding hands. "My dog ran away," she whispered. Arthur looked at the drawing. He didn't offer easy answers. He just said, "That must feel like a big hole in your heart. You know, once, my cat was gone for 3 whole days. I was so sad. But I left his favorite blanket outside the door, and on the 3rd night, he came back. Maybe your dog will find his way home too." Chloe wiped her eyes. The hope in his simple words was enough to get her to the other side of the street. Over the years, Arthur watched them grow. He saw their first day jitters turn into confident walks. He saw them with new haircuts, with lost teeth, with school projects they were proud of. He was a silent witness to their small triumphs and their quiet sorrows. He didn't just help them cross the street. He helped them cross from childhood to the next step, one day at a time. One cold December morning, Arthur wasn't at his post. The children arrived, and the crosswalk was empty. The cars passed, but no one stopped them. The parents looked at each other, worried. A substitute crossing guard, a young woman, stood there instead. She was efficient, holding up the sign correctly, but she didn't kneel. She didn't ask about their day. For a week, the crosswalk was just a crosswalk. The children walked with their heads down, a little lost. The magic was gone. Mia, with her red boots, looked for his kind eyes. Leo ran straight into the street without thinking, and a car had to brake suddenly. The rhythm of their mornings was broken. Then, one morning, he was back. He was a little slower, a little more tired. His orange vest seemed a bit looser, but his smile was there. The children saw him from a distance, and a small wave of happiness spread through the group. Mia ran a little faster. Leo waited patiently. Arthur knelt down to Mia. "Good morning, Mia. I miss those boots." She looked up, and for the first time in a long time, she spoke. "I missed you too, Mr. Arthur." That was all. But it was everything. He helped them across one by one. He listened to their stories about the week. He heard about the school play, the lost homework, the new puppy. He was their guardian again. He didn't ask for thanks. He just stood there, a calm, quiet presence in a world that often moved too fast. Years passed. The children grew up and moved on to middle school, then high school. They stopped using his crosswalk. New, smaller children took their place. Arthur grew older and older. His steps became slower, his hand a little shakier on the stop sign. One spring afternoon, a young woman in a nice suit stood at the edge of the crosswalk. She was waiting to cross. She was visiting her old neighborhood. It was Mia. She looked across the street and saw him. He was still there, guiding a little boy in a baseball cap. She watched as Arthur talked to the boy, saw the boy smile. When the crosswalk was clear, she walked over to him. "Mr. Arthur," she said. He turned. His eyes were cloudy with age, but then they focused. A small light flickered in them. "Well, now," he said softly. "I know those red boots." He pointed to her fancy high heels. "They changed, but it's Mia, isn't it?" Tears filled her eyes. She nodded. "I just wanted to say thank you. For all of it. For the mornings. For asking about my day. For just being here." Arthur looked at her, then looked at the street, at the children playing in the schoolyard beyond. "It was my job," he said quietly. But then he smiled his old smile. No, he corrected himself. "It was my gift." He turned back to the crosswalk, where a new group of children was waiting. He raised his sign, the old, faded stop sign, and took a slow, steady step forward. Mia watched him for a long time. Then, with a full heart, she walked away, knowing that some guardians don't just protect you from cars. They protect the small, precious person inside you, helping you cross safely to who you will become.